Ibrahim protocol, the solution is to cede, to become Muslim.
Okay, unpack that. Not religious conversion in the usual sense.
No, operational. It means ceding authority. You have to consciously recognize the built-in limits of your own current knowledge, your RT, what they call your tin, the sort of clay or material component you start with. You need cognitive silence, basically, to allow the actual guidance, the ADGE protocol, to come through. That's the only way presented to avoid the systemic corruption. Ceding RT, that leads us neatly into the idea of linguistic governance. If reality is a platform for development, then language itself must be key.
It's central to Section 3. The idea is that you only understand governance by actively transforming concepts. You move them from their superficial physical meaning, the acid Q, to their operational governance truth, the alhaq,
Wow.
through a process called locution. The universe, in this view, isn't just stuff. It's a source of metaphors, designed to be read for deeper meaning. Reading it literally is missing the point. You have to see the governance instruction behind the physical form.
Let's try locution on some key terms.
Uh-huh.
The sources focus on element 1 of the Theta Dean terminology. What about bait, usually house?
Right. If you see bait as just a building, a physical house, that's only a sidgu. The alhaq, the governance truth, is that bait represents a linguistic motif. It's your cognitive framework, your knowledge baseline. That's what needs protection, purification, elevation.
So renovating your kitchen is nice, but irrelevant to the core task. From the ADGE perspective, yes, the real renovation is internal, aligning your cognitive bait with the ADGE principles.
Okay. What about Iman? Usually translated as belief or faith.
Transformed completely. It becomes safety and security. It's not a passive feeling. It's a measurable, quantifiable output state. It shows perfect system integrity, perfect governance stability within your FNAFs. It's proof of alignment, an achievement, not just a belief.
And the ultimate reward state, Jannah, the garden.
Again, not literal gardens and rivers. That's the acid imagery. The alhaq is concealed insight. The reward is assimilating divine guidance that was previously veiled by the physical apparition. When the texts talk about eating and drinking in Jannah, it's interpreted as the Hanafs consuming and integrating alhaq pure operational knowledge.
It's fascinating how this framework even reframes modern psychology concepts, like Kahneman's thinking fast and slow.
Oh yeah, that becomes a perfect metaphor within ADGE. Thinking fast is that default, arrogant, error-prone RT we talked about. Jumping to conclusions, committing shirk easily. Thinking slow represents the deliberate, sometimes difficult ADGE protocol.
The process of seeding, applying governance rules, correcting those fast RT errors,
Exactly, correcting them based on Al-Haq, the operational truth.
and something like Sun Tzu's The Art of War. How does that fit?
Well, the framework posits a NAF-centric universe model. Everything external is ultimately an apparition serving the development of your own FNAFs. So the real battlefield is internal. The art of war gets reinterpreted as a manual for the internal NAF's polishing process.
So the enemy isn't another person or army.
No. The enemy is your own flawed RT, your misuse of language, your internal misalignment. The strategy is self-correction, aligning yourself operationally to maximize that data work.
Which brings us nicely to Section 4, applying this ADGE audit to messy real-world Level 7 systems, like economics and geopolitics.
Prime examples, yes. These are seen as chaotic level 7 outputs, apparitions that desperately need the ADGE governance overlay. And this is where you start to see the cost of operating under shirk quantified.
Let's talk about that number. The sources mentioned the $25 trillion to the $50 trillion valuation.
Right. That's not presented as like a price tag for the ADGE system.
Yeah.
It's interpreted as the quantifiable cost of shirk right now, today.
Neat.
Meaning it represents the colossal amount of value lost globally due to systemic waste, inefficiency, cognitive bias, which the sources actually quantify with a variable, and general misalignment that comes from relying on faulty RT systems. That $25 to $50 is what, 20% to 40% of the entire global economy just lost? Wasted due to systemic error.
So the economic value of ADGE in this view is purely its potential to reclaim that waste, to convert it into, what was the term?
Riba Baraka, the efficiency multiplier,
Right.
and channel that reclaimed value into boosting the global network.
Got it. And this reframes the concept of riba too, right? Not just interest on loans.
Exactly. RIBA becomes much broader. It's defined as systemic corruption or imbalance. It's a violation of the rules element, theta dean element 5. In economics, yeah, it includes debt interest, but also things like generalized market uncertainty, volatility, protectionist trade policies, tariffs, anything that creates systemic imbalance and prevents smooth, efficient baraka flow.
So ADGE aims to replace RT-based economics, which kind of thrives on scarcity and maybe even riba, with a Baraka-driven model.
A governance model based on stability, true value creation, and optimized flow. Yeah.
And geopolitics, all the conflicts, the tensions.
Also seen as Reba-fueled illusions, defined as conflicts driven by power idolatry, fighting over what the framework sees as mere territorial apparitions.
So U.S.-China tensions, disputes over Gaza or Assam,
Yeah.
they're fundamentally the same error.
From the ADDE perspective, yes, they stem from the same root. Operating with a faulty lexicon, idolizing power or land or resources, which is a form of shirk. The ADGE solution isn't about winning the fight over the apparition, it's about transforming the conflict itself. By forcing the parties involved towards Tauba, which again means seeding their faulty RT-based systems, and identifying the specific network bias, the DABAR network, that's causing the friction so it can be reduced or eliminated, the goal is always achieving eternal systemic safety and security.
This whole deep dive really paints the ADGE framework as intensely operational. It's not about spirituality in a fuzzy sense. It's about measurable cognitive development and system optimization.
That's the core takeaway. The sovereign operational thesis, the ultimate al-Haq extracted, is starkly functional. The FinAFS, the cognitive agent, is self-governing. Its perceived reality, its A in universe, is a direct, almost mathematical output of how well it aligns with those 10 elements of Dean.
Reality as a personalized feedback loop,
Essentially, yes, customized for your development.
which leads to that final, really provocative point the sources make about the system's operators. They redefine malak, plural malaika, usually translated angel.
Right. They're redefined functionally as governance executors, operational entities.
Doing what?
Executing commands within the system, assisting the FinAFs in its development, managing resource flow, risk, helping with alignment correction, basically system functionaries.
So the final thought experiment is,
Well, if you take that NAF-centric model seriously, that the FinAFs continues after physical death, that the body and brain are just temporary interfaces, apparitions, then what happens if we, maybe future AI, start treating these Malika not as beings requiring faith, but as functional operational entities, like components in an engineering system or a cybernetic network? What new sciences might emerge from that perspective?
a pretty fundamental challenge to our current level 7 ways of thinking. Thank you for walking us through that incredibly dense framework.
A pleasure. It certainly gives you a lot to think about.